That's mine.
Welcome back to the interview area. We are joined by world number 5, Justin Thomas, and recent PGA Championship winner. Justin, you were here, I think, a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
What were your impressions of the course?
Yeah, it's a great course. I came on Monday last week, and it worked out well. Very similar to the PGA, where I was able to go kind of on the way to the venue for that week, and just wanted to come play because the practice rounds for the majors can be a little long. Have a lot of guys haven't seen this place before, so feel the need to play 18 holes and check it out. And I didn't really want to have a 6-hour practice round, so it worked out well to come check it out. And it's a cool place. I mean, it's very in front of you. It's old school. You got dog legs. I mean, I haven't been on the course since I was here Monday, but I'm sure it's going to be long, rough, and firm and fast greens.
What do you look for when you're preparing for U.S. Open week specifically?
I mean, you always know U.S. Open's a grind. I mean, that's why I love it. I think that's why a lot of guys love it. It's one of the few times of the year you're kind of playing more in relation to par, and par is a good score. I mean, driving the ball is going to be very important this week, but I think like any major, especially U.S. Open, I mean, scrambling and salvaging and making those putts for par can kind of be the momentum builders.
Right here to Ben.
Justin, you were here 2013, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your old notebook from that week, and how similar does it look compared to then? Yeah.
I missed the cut, so I hope I don't have it. But I didn't play too bad here. I didn't play the other course very well, but it was one of the. I remembered like some holes, and then once I got there, I would remember it more. It just was the specifics, the little. I did not remember this amount of undulation and slope on the greens. I love the addition of the short par 3. I think every golf course should have a short little hole like that, and it's got a diabolical green to where they can put some tough pins. You can make 2 and 4 in a heartbeat, and yeah, I mean I don't remember enough about it to feel like I came in here with a significant advantage.
We're gonna go to behind me to Christine.
Hi, Justin. Christine Brennan with USA Today. You alluded in a tweet yesterday to Rory with that 21, and you had a little smiley face, whatever. Curious if you would talk maybe about the situation in your sport right now, and would you ever consider going to LIV Golf? And if the answer is no, would it be because of your loyalty to the PGA Tour, or would it be because of going into business with someone like Mohammed bin Salman? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously was very happy for Rory and him winning the tournament. I have a lot of respect for him, not only as a golfer, but just as a person. I mean, I see how hard he works down in Florida, and it had been a little while since we've had that battle against each other on a Sunday. So, I mean, I definitely could have written the ending a little bit better if I could have come out on top, but it just was a big week for the tour. I mean, I tossed and turned and lost a lot of sleep last week thinking about what could potentially happen, and it's just I grew up my entire life wanting to play the PGA Tour, wanting to break records, make history, play Presidents Cups, play Ryder Cups, and the fact that things like that could potentially get hurt because of some of the people that are leaving, and if more go, it's just sad. I mean, it's really no other way to say it. It's just it just makes me sad, because like I said, I've grown up my entire life wanting to do that, and I don't want to do anything else. I mean, the people that have gone, it's like I said, they have the decision that they're entitled to make it. Not necessarily that I agree with it one way or the other, but everything's got a price, I guess.
And just to follow up, thanks. Does Phil Mickelson making the decision that he made, does that disappoint you?
What decision?
Phil Mickelson to go to LIV Golf.
I mean, he was very adamant about it for a while, so I don't think that decision or Bryson really surprised any of us. I mean, they were talking it up not only to a lot of their peers, but other people. So I think, Phil going was not that surprising of a decision just based off of things that I was hearing internally from him and others.
Dan.
You and Rory have sort of emerged as leaders in this, whatever you want to call it. The guys who are still deciding, should I go, should I stay, are you making yourself available to them to talk to them, or is it sort of like everyone can make their own decision?
I want it to be both. I mean, we are all grown-ups, and I go back and forth so much on different thoughts and how I feel about it. But it's just I know what I want to happen, but it's just at the end of the day, you don't know if it is going to happen because, like I've said from the beginning, it's astronomical money that they're throwing at people, and that's people. Everybody has a price for everything. It doesn't matter if you don't want to do it. If you do want to do it, there's going to be some kind of number that's going to get people to think about it, and they're reaching that number with a lot of people. So I just want to be able to basically say my part or what I think about the decision or the PGA Tour. And I mean, selfishly, I don't want anybody to leave. I mean, I've talked to some of my peers that have asked me questions, and I don't know probably as much as others, but I'm like, you got to do what's best for you or what you think is best for your career. I'm like, but selfishly, I don't want you to go. That's how I kind of end any phrase or any conversation that I'm having with somebody about it, because at the end of the day, I'm not their parent. I'm not, the person that's making their decisions. All I can do is plead my case. But everybody out here is a grown-up. They can make their own decisions.
On your right, we're going to go Steve and then back to Ben.
Hi, Steve.
How you doing? How many holes did you play today?
I played 0 holes today.
Oh, okay. That sort of takes care of my question.
He was here a week ago.
You were here a week ago?
Yeah, I played Monday.
Have you seen the beer prices yet? Just kidding. A lot of big moments here have happened on the 17th hole. Can you describe the 17th hole and how you go about surviving it or getting through it?
Yeah, it's a unique hole. It's unlike, I think, a lot of holes out here are pretty self-explanatory off the tee. It's maybe just, am I going to hit a driver? Am I going to hit a 3-wood or whatever it is? But I think that hole presents a lot of opportunity of different clubs off the tees. And if you want to, especially with how a lot of guys are playing nowadays, a lot of guys, or not, a handful of guys are probably going to hit driver, try to hit it right in front of the green, or if you get a helping wind, maybe the tee's up, you can knock it on the green. But then again, I'm sure the rough's going to be nasty up there to where you get out of position. It's tough, and then it's like, do you lay up, and do you lay up to a good number? It's just so I can see it's a hole that if you can have a 2-shot swing on it pretty quickly for it being a very short, easy hole. But it's really just going to kind of be how you want to attack it or approach it, I think, once you get to that point, especially come Saturday and Sunday.
Front right to Ben.
Hey, Justin, with Rory, it seems he's really taken a leadership role being pro PGA Tour. Are you surprised that he's taken that mantle, and is he someone that a lot of the guys on tour you think really look up to?
I'd hope so, just for the sake of, I know he's accomplished a lot more than I have. He's been out here longer. He's been more successful. But there's nobody that has, I think, acts more humble and more grounded for what they've done and who they are than him. I remember being a rookie and moving down to Jupiter, and he was out of Bears Club, and I just, being the person I am, wanting to learn, going up to him, and I just was like, hey, I'd love to play sometime, introduce myself, and he was like, yeah, anytime, and, gave me his number, and we kind of hit it off. We're very similar personalities, so for me, I definitely think that other people should look up to someone like him. I do in some aspects. There's definitely other parts that, he's still a competitor and someone that I'm trying to beat. Mm-hmm. But there's still a lot of things that, as a leader, that he does really well. And I think that he's very honest, like I am. I'm not going to sit in here and feed a PC answer or just say something to maybe please a certain crowd. If you feel a certain way, you feel like you should say that. And that's what he does, and he does it for the best reasons and hopes that it's going to be the best for the PGA Tour.
We're going to go to Dave on your left.
Yeah, Justin, how much with all the things that this press conference, the one that Phil Mickelson was in obviously earlier, is all talking about LIV Series. We're not a lot of them talking about the U.S. Open. How much of this ends up becoming this distraction, the fact that you have to answer questions?
It is.
Everyone's going to. How much is that going to play into the way that you play and maybe the way that other people actually play the tournament?
Well, I hope it wouldn't change anything with how I play. It's not, like I said, when I kind of have off time and I'm sitting there and able to think about some stuff, obviously, you can't go anywhere. I'm sure it's the same with y'all. You can't go anywhere without somebody bringing it up. But that's just kind of one of the things I spoke to earlier. It's just it's sad. This is the U.S. Open, and This is an unbelievable venue, a place with so much history, an unbelievable field, so many storylines, and yet that seems to be what all the questions are about, and that's unfortunate. That's not right to the USGA. That's not right for the U.S. Open. That's not right for us players. But that's unfortunately where we're at right now.
To Dylan right behind me.
Yeah, did you get a chance to see Jay's comments? You're obviously playing when he went on the CBS broadcast, but I don't know
I
if
didn't.
you. Okay, then never mind on that
Sorry.
front. Where did your Boston sports fandom come from?
Well, it's more like I like the Red Sox. So my uncle is from up this area, and he's a big Red Sox fan, and it just was kind of something. It was no birthday or Christmas gift that was for me from him was anything but Red Sox. So it was like I had a lot of jersey T-shirts, a lot of hats, a lot of blankets, and
Which players,
Yeah, I had a Nomar, had a Manny, and then I think I had and then my first actual Red Sox jersey was a David Ortiz jersey. I think I even had I had a Veritek one. Yeah, I mean, he took me to a Yankees Red Sox game at Fenway for my birthday one year, which was really cool. I was probably like 12. Went to a Yankees Red Sox game at old Yankee Stadium. I mean, I remember because I had my Nomar jersey on, and I was, getting yelled at and cussed at and given the finger, and I was like 9 years old. So that was my first introduction to the Yankees Red Sox rivalry.
Is Ortiz still in your email address?
It is, yeah.
We're going to stay on this side. We're going to go to Luke and then Brentley.
Hey, JT. I do have a U.S. Open question. When you're midway through a really difficult U.S. Open round, is there anything you do or say to yourself that, you kind of reset, start from the beginning, refocus, and just to kind of get you through the rest of a difficult round?
I wish I could say something because it never seems like it's that easy. And a lot of it is kind of depending on how you're playing. You know what I mean? If you're cruising and everything feels good, you just basically keep doing what you're doing, or just really try to stay focused and in the moment and present. But it's when things start going south, or maybe you get a couple bad breaks, or you get some wind gusts, whatever it is, to where you just get thrown some adversity, and it's like, how are you going to handle it? And those are the times, especially in a major, that I've learned that, I've become a little impatient. I almost try to force the issue sometimes, and at the end of the day, at the end of the week in a major, I mean, that's how a lot of guys are going to end up losing the tournament. And I'm trying to get to a point where I don't do that anymore. I wish it was, that easy to just be able to say, I'm going to stay perfectly in the present and in the moment, and I'm not going to let anything affect me. But that's not that easy. So you just kind of have to make way with whatever you have.
Brentley.
Is there one kind of past USGA championship that you played that kind of eats at you the most? It doesn't have to be a U.S. Open. It could be an AM or a junior.
And what eats at me the most that I wish
one that you felt like really got away from you that you could have had a shot at.
The USAM at Chambers, or I'm sorry, at the USAM at Cherry Hills. Yeah, I was one match away from Augusta in the U.S. Open. Played Michael Weaver. He was 5 under through 10 on me at a very hard golf course, and that was a bummer because you only obviously have such a very short amount of time in your career to play in events as an amateur. Not that I think that affected my career in any way, but it still would have been pretty cool to play in the Masters as an amateur. So I got to thank Michael Weaver for that one, for beating me.
We're going to take one from the WebEx. With everything going on with the PGA Tour and LIV Golf right now, what would be your message to young golfers who are dreaming of playing on the tour in the future?
I think my dad said it best, and it just was talking to him about not only everything going on with golf, but just going on in the world. And it's just like, my dad is someone very old school. It's just he loved to work. He'd work 80 hours, a week as a club pro, and he would, he'd pull his own cart. He'd pull the carts down in the morning. He'd close the shop up in the afternoon, and he'd be the first to say, he's like, I made no money, but I just love to work. And you have to love what you're doing is basically what I'm saying. There's no amount of money that you could get that if you don't love or enjoy what you're actually doing, the amount of money you have you're still going to be miserable. You're still not going to enjoy it. And although you might be miserable in a bigger house or a nicer car, that doesn't necessarily mean that your life is going to be any better. So I think it's what's very important for juniors and everybody growing up is just you got to be passionate about it and play for the right reasons and just want to get better and strive for that and keep working at it.
We're going to go 2 in a row behind me.
Hey, Justin, I'm just curious if, there is this further fracturing of the sport, the way things are going, what do you think that'll do for the majors, or how do you think it will affect or, change the way majors are?
I don't know. The decisions that the majors make are not in my control at all, so I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. I just want to play against the best of the world, and I want a chance to try to win majors. And with that being said, the best players in the world need to be here, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want guys to be able to do both. So it's a tough spot to be in. But like I said, the majors are the ones that have to make those decisions, and I just pretty much got to deal with it, I guess.
Dylan, last question.
Yeah, you got a lot of traction, I guess, when you talked last week about kind of separating the person from the decision of, maybe someone going to live. Why do you think that struck such a chord with people?
Because I think it's honest. I'm guilty of it. I've tried to get better, but I just truly think it's just the day and age of social media has just gotten that way to where it's like, it's so negative anymore. And like I said, I'm the first to admit that there's times where people do something and I bash them, obviously not externally, maybe internally with friends or whatever it is. And it's like, it's not necessary. Like, it's not, you can disagree with the decision. You can maybe wish that they did something differently. You can maybe, and another thing is being in the media as a writer, you have to write about it. Like, I understand that, but for people at home to necessarily say that Dustin Johnson is now a bad person, that's not fair. That's just not, it's not right. Now, again, I said it last week, I'll say it again. Do I wish he wouldn't have done it? And am I a little sad about it? Yeah, but it is what it is. Like, you just got to move on and make the best out of what you got, and I guess just worry about yourself a little bit sometimes.
Justin, thanks for your time and good luck this
Thanks.
week.